Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Torch Tales, Stories Behind the Hood. I'm your host, Frank Vargas, aka Traveling Frankie. Today I happen to be in Orlando, Florida, at SuperFlash, one of their offices. I guess this is considered one of, or maybe headquarters now, and I'll let my guests explain where we are, what they do, what she does, how she got into the industry. So with me today, Brittany Fichter. Hi, Brittany.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Doing well.
So this has taken quite a bit for me to have her on for many different reasons. I think Torch Tales is about over a year now, and it's probably about a year that we've been kind of playing with dates here and there. So thank you again for finally taking the time. We had to come to one of her offices to really get this done, but I'm grateful because I also went through a training and I learned a lot about some stuff that really connects with what I do for a living. So Brittany, you've known the deal, you've been a fan, even though, like I said, it took you a while to say yes or finally get here. So you know the deal. I love to talk about who they work for, what they do, so on, so on. But for me, that's icing on the cake. For me, it's just the person, really get to know who they are, where they come from, how they stumble into this industry, and why they still continue to stay in the industry, all right? Because we see people leave and come back and so on. But now, first of all, how long have you been in the industry overall?
I've been with the company 6 years.
Okay, and the company, again, to make sure, SuperFlash, right?
Yes.
And before we ask a little bit of the personal stuff that you most know that I usually do, SuperFlash is what specifically?
So SuperFlash compressed gas equipment. So we do flashback arresters, quick connectors, gas mixers, custom heating solutions.
Gotcha. But 6 years ago, you didn't start on this division, correct?
So no, we're an umbrella of companies, really focused around oxygen, things like that. So we have our medical side, Oxygo, applied home healthcare equipment. And I was brought in doing the marketing, and I kind of kept going towards the industrial side. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And kept asking questions till they more so let me do just the marketing for that side.
Cool, awesome. And that's great. And we'll touch a little bit on that, as we go on. Where are you from?
I live in Ohio. I was born in Florida, but I was only there a short time.
Only here, because she
only here.
Yeah, we are in Florida as we speak, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And moved to Ohio. However, I've always had family here in Florida.
Okay, and when you say here in Florida, Florida where?
Bradenton, Sarasota area mainly. So my mother lives there now, so I come back quite a bit and see her.
Cool, that's on the West Coast, just for you guys that might not know where we are. This is Orlando Central, Sarasota. It's like on the northwestern side of where we are right now. So great. So 6 years in the industry, started with the medical side, then kind of worked your way into the industrial side. You get to travel, see all the shows, get to really mingle with all these blue collar people in the welding industry and so on. But prior to this, so at what age did you move to Ohio? What age did you leave Florida? Oh, so definitely you are.
Right, but we still
She's not from
went
here.
back.
She's not from here.
Oh no, see me in winter, I'm a Floridian.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I get it. So does another 5 million people, right? But now when you are growing up in Ohio, and did you always have family that stayed behind in Florida, or everyone left and really?
So we had family also in Ohio, but we also had a lot of family in Florida. So every summer vacation would be in Florida, things like that. So
gotcha.
It still is a home in a way.
All right, cool. How was that growing up, knowing that, because most people can't miss what they don't know. But in your case, you were born here, you still got to come so often, so you had those brutal winters in Ohio, and then you come down to South Florida. How was that growing up, knowing like, oh man, it's so great there right now, and oh, this sucks right now, and vice versa. So how was that as a kid, having those two exposures?
I mean, I love all the seasons. Fall, I love fall in Ohio.
We don't have that here.
Yeah, well, we only have it for like 1 week actually. It's basically summer and then winter. And you get 1 week of perfect weather, which is right now.
It is, and she's here now, of course, right? Yeah.
But I guess not not too big of a deal because you don't know.
Correct.
So it was still like, oh, well, let's go to Florida for a vacation, get out of the weather. I was never a snow person.
No? Huh. Oh, yeah, okay.
No.
Sure. And what were you into growing up? Like, what was the, hey, Brittany, she's always doing this or doing that. Like, what was your thing?
You know me. I random. So it was always something different.
Really? Yeah.
Absolutely. I loved my stuffed animals a lot.
Okay.
And I would have a lot of stuffed animal parades.
Okay. Well, I also know that you love dinosaurs, right?
I do. I love dinosaurs.
Yeah? So tell me the reason behind that. Why dinosaurs? How did you connect with that?
I think it's something that we don't know about or understand fully.
Okay.
So you kind of imagination, curiosity, science, but I don't know, they're just huge, massive, and there's so many different types.
Just like me, what can I say? Now, did you have any siblings?
I'm the baby, surprising, two older brothers.
That makes sense. Now I'm connecting all the dots, right? Now, so you are the youngest. Did your brothers pick on you? Did you,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What were they into?
They're both very good artists. My mother's an artist.
Oh, okay.
So very artistic, very musical. They both played instruments, both into sports. So basically anything they did, I wanted to do. You know, they got a new CD. I'm going to play it till they hate that band anymore. It was very common little sister. So they would pick on me, beat me up. But if anyone else said anything about me,
Oh yeah, we're the only ones that can do this to her.
Yeah.
No, nobody else, right? Being there, done that. Yep. And what were the kind of things, as you are finishing school, what were the kind of things that you were imagining that you were going to do or that you wanted to do before you started, your adult career?
I switched a lot.
Yeah.
I switched it a lot. I wanted to be a writer.
Okay.
I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
I wanted to be an actress.
Okay.
And I wanted to be a photographer.
Okay.
So.
All right. And as you kept going, how were you just kind of unchecking those boxes? Like, what was happening that one after another they go like, all right, no, next, no, next. Like, what was the one thing, your first job? What was your first job?
Like my first job ever in life?
Yeah.
I babysat Tamagotchis at school.
Okay, all right.
But my first real job, I was at McDonald's, I think, for a month.
For a month?
I think I lasted.
They fire you?
Oh, no.
No?
I quit.
Yeah, sure she did. I'm just kidding. So McDonald's, and then what came after?
I worked at a pizza shop, but also babysat a lot.
Okay.
I loved babysitting.
Really?
So, you got to play with kids, talk about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It made sense.
Yeah.
So,
No.
And great money, too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and you don't have to pay taxes, right? So it's a win-win. Look into that. So now, as you are getting all these things and kind of learning the stuff that you don't want to do, learning the stuff that, you're like, okay, cool, that's fun for a while, did that. Now I really need to start growing. When did you, before SuperFlash or Oxigo, depending, when you first came into the company, what was the one job that you thought this could be a career thing?
I was doing...
If there was such a thing.
I was working at a photography shop, and I was in charge of one of the main stores. I would teach classes,
Really?
Loved teaching classes, and I would also do professional photography on the side.
Are we talking about 35 film, like, the old, or before digital, or?
I could do the film because college forced you to start with film, which at first I was mad, but thankful now.
Yeah.
But no, it was digital. I was in my early 20s and thought, this is great, do the photography on the side, get to teach people what I'm passionate about. And
so you were working at the photography shop, and then on the side you were also, I guess, getting gigs and taking pictures and stuff like that?
doing weddings, babies, seniors, all of that.
Really? What did you like about photography? Like because I know that you still do. You still take pictures and stuff like that.
Yes.
What is it that you like about that? What connects with you?
I think it's being able to tell a story without saying anything or tell an emotion without saying anything. I did not like doing weddings though.
No, why not?
Just what people want from
Their expectations, yeah.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed doing the children or landscape, stuff like that. Baby photos I loved doing, but
I can see that. Everyone's so emotional at weddings, especially with the bride. You know, there's
that, and you've
the
got the
bride's
entire
mom and
family telling you like, oh, you need to go do this photo and this, and I'm like, but they're paying me, and Aunt Susie Bobby Lee is not on the list of must get photos. So, excuse me.
Sorry, Aunt Susie, you just gotta pay, and you were not paying. It is what it is. That's too funny, because I used to be a DJ, so definitely I used to do the same kind of gig, and it's the same thing. You get all the guests that they think they have everything over you. And I was like, oh, I'm the dad, I'm the mom, I'm the whatever, but it was the bride, it was the groom that hired me. I got to cater to what they are paying me
Exactly.
for. And sometimes that did not go well. Whenever you try to explain those, you know who I am? Like, no, neither do you. Like, we don't have a clue of who each other is.
Not the one paying the bill.
Correct, 100%. So now how long were you there working?
Gosh, I was on and off for a while because I had some medical stuff happen. And that's where I took a break. I ended up having a few brain surgeries.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I know that because, you know, we've shared that before, and that's totally up to you to share or not share.
Oh.
You're fine with that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay,
Absolutely.
cool, because I don't want to cross the line then like Frank. So I know you've shared that before, and since you mentioned it, without going into too much details, what was a sign that you started having that said, uh-oh, there's a problem.
Right.
There's something going on, and because maybe it might help someone.
So I have what they call trigeminal neuralgia. It's blood vessels wrapped around nerves.
You always knew that? Early on?
No.
Okay,
so
that's when.
I didn't. What is funny about it, not funny, it's a very painful, known as the most painful condition to mankind.
Really?
The only reason I knew about it is my mother had it.
Okay.
And so I was getting all these symptoms, and I'm like, this, and so I'm calling her, and I'm like, does this sound like what you had before your brain surgery? And
what kind of, like, give me a symptom that it's kind of like a telltale, hey, maybe go check.
So it feels like electrical shocks throughout the side of my face. I get about 1,000 a day. They can last a couple seconds to a few minutes.
Wow.
But it's not hereditary.
Really? So it's not?
That's what they say. But so I had to go to the doctor and be like, can you check for this? They're like, and then they do the test.
So the doctors, so you call your mom and you ask, hey mom, I'm going through this. Like, oh my God, that sounds like what I go through, or what I've gone through. You go to the doctors and probably they are saying no, because they probably look at you, you're too young, or
that,
like what was
they said, that's so rare, it's not hereditary. And then I'm like, well, you're doing the MRI.
Yeah, correct.
Check.
I'm paying you anyway.
Yeah, no big deal. So, phone rings, I answer. Doctor's like, Brittany, just as I suspected, you have and I'm like, just as you suspected? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Wow. So how long from when that first analysis and you got those results and they have confirmed, how long of a process was that, through all your whole heavy medical stuff? So I was very lucky having my mom have been through all this. Yeah.
So she was able to advise me on a lot of it, and I knew right away I wanted to have surgery.
Gotcha.
So it was more so the hoops of you can't have surgery until you've tried this many medications, and
yeah, of course.
And those didn't work, so went ahead, had a surgery. Unfortunately, didn't take the pain away. Tried another one, didn't work. Had a little infection issue, emergency surgery. They still offer me surgery, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, of course. At this point, you're probably scared.
That's okay. Yeah. So, but if none of that happened, I wouldn't be here.
Knock on wood.
So, and I love this job. You said how people come into the industry and leave. Until you guys kick me out, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, there you go. You've heard her. I didn't say that. She did. No one ever knows the real struggle that anyone goes through, right, in life. We just see at face value on my judge or my say or my all these things. And you're right, what people show you. Not knowing that we've all had some sort of struggle that even though when you compare against somebody else, it's not even close to the other person, but then you think you're carrying the biggest cross ever. And, to each his own, it's your own cross to carry, but definitely that doesn't sound fun at all, to say the least. And I'm just playing it very lightly, all right? How long ago, do you still get those pains?
Every day.
Every single day?
Every single day.
You have to take pain medication or stuff, or it doesn't
I
help?
won't take the meds. I've tried a few different ones, and they it's your brain, so it can change you. And I realized when a lady got in front of me in Target and I got upset and threw a loaf of bread at her, that wasn't me. And I was like, I don't want any more meds. The family's like, we think you're being a little mean. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You threw a loaf of bread at a stranger.
Yeah. But it wasn't a baguette. It was, it was soft, right?
Yeah, it was soft.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it wasn't French bread. That's crazy. And so you don't eat. Have you tried the green herbal medicines of Earth?
Ohio just recently made that a thing, so.
Yeah, I'm glad how she knew exactly what I was saying, but I never said anything. I just green stuff. It could have been cilantro.
I don't like smoothies.
Yeah, well, there you go. Now, how does that affect your daily life? Because you don't want to take meds because of the side effects that you were getting, but you're still going through the pain. Are the pain the same as before the operations? Have they mellowed down, or?
It varies day to day. So it could be a day that's not that bad, and there's others that are terrible, but that's where this industry actually really, really helped me.
Really?
Like the first Fab Tech that I went to, that was the first time I really saw welding.
Yeah.
And that night I signed up for a class. Yeah. And that's really been kind of a pain reliever. Just go in the garage, make terrible pieces of metal stick together.
Right.
So you just find something, and like you said, everyone has something. So what can you do?
That is so true. So now talking about coming into the industry, what happened? How did you actually get into the first side of the industry, Oxygo, with SuperFlash? How did that happen?
Someone I knew was working there, and I was kind of taking a break to reevaluate everything, and she was like, hey, they've got this, you do some marketing and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, and went ahead, started there, and like I said, started in the marketing side, and once I knew I liked the industrial side, I felt you need to know about every product to really market it.
Of course.
So I would run into Kurt's office every day and be like, well, what does this do? What does this mean? And he's like, what? And I'm like, do you want me to market this? So eventually he ended up it's been a year and a half now, I think I've been on the sales side.
Gotcha.
He stole me to the sales side, and I just love it.
So did somebody take over what you used to do on the other side, or that you kind of still help on that side? Like what happened?
I'm still helping. I mean, it's something that's very technical, but we do have a marketing team, and they're learning the more industrial side, but also Kurt was a marketing person.
Gotcha.
So everyone works together as a team.
That's awesome.
We wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, that's awesome. Once you transfer to the industrial side, to the welding industrial side, what was the one thing that really connected with you that you said, ooh, I really like this? Like, what was that one thing, that tangible thing?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know. It was just a black hole. I mean, it just sucked me in, and I was hooked. I couldn't tell you what it was about it. It was almost like that first time, like I struck an arc, and I was just. there.
But see, but that's a big difference. Like, for example, you go into the industry, you start selling a product, you start, being help to be the face of a product, like what we do for a living. But there's a big jump between I'm going to represent, I'm going to sell, I'm going to market this product versus, I'm actually also want to learn welding and the processes, and let me get myself into a few classes. Like, why did you start now actually learning welding versus I just want to learn this one product and sell the hell out of it?
I saw it was exciting, and also the industry, it was so welcoming. Like, you were one of my first friends. I remember my first Fab Tech, my first SCADAs, and everyone just was so welcoming, wanting to teach, and everyone was excited about what they were doing, whether it's an OEM, a distributor, an end user. It was like this family community, and I just wanted to know all of it. And I didn't feel I can just go sell someone something if I haven't done it myself, if I haven't tried it myself. How can I truly believe in it? How can I truly market it, or how can I sell it?
Correct.
And I wanted to, so.
That's a great approach, and I love that. But just like you said, that everyone's been so welcoming, and that you've had such a great time, and that you feel that this is your niche, that you found this industry to be your thing. What's some of the struggles that you've also had in the industry? Because not everything is always perfect.
Oh, no,
all right?
no.
So what hills have you found that like, ooh, I didn't expect that?
I don't know if I so much didn't expect it, but there is definitely being a woman salesperson.
Gotcha.
I'm on like the technical queue and answer phone calls at work, and a lot of times it's like, hey honey, is there someone that I can talk to that knows something about welding? And I'm like, well, what would you like to know? Or at Fab Tech last week at the booth, someone wanted to wait around to talk to one of the guys. And
because they think you're there just to hand out the stickers or whatever, right?
Hi. So they waited around, would not ask me the question, and then finally, one of the guys frees up, and he's been saying it's a very technical question about one of the gas mixers. Guy frees up, and he's like, "Yeah, can this do argon CO2?" The most common.
One of the first things you learn, right?
Luckily, the guys are great too, and was like, I think so. Brittany, can this? And it's like, oh, well, actually, and they're like, oh. So, but I think being a woman, but there was more women at Fab Tech this year than I've ever seen before, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think, that's not going to change just like that, right? That's someone, like, even you being a woman, it's not something that you can even be mad about or fault other people, because it's just a condition. It's just what they know. It's like, how can you judge someone that all they've known is this one thing, right? It's, I only conduct business with men. It's a male-oriented industry. It's, guys, is what we know. I'm like, nah, whatever, BS. But now more and more people are finding like, wait, no, hold on. So I think I see that with a lot of female friends that I have in my circle as well, and they, for the most part, 90% of them say the same thing, but they've also acknowledged that things are changing. All right,
they are.
So that's a good thing. Now, working for a company like SuperFlash and representing them the way that now you and Kurt does, what would you say is the easiest thing about SuperFlash and the hardest thing at the same time? That's a two-part question.
The easiest thing.
Like, hey, I work for SuperFlash, this is what we do. Or is that the easy part? And then what is the one thing that you get, not a negative feedback.
I would say there's always more to learn, which is one of the harder things. Like, he explained when I first started, because I'd be like, well, I want to, and he's like, slow down, like Scrappy-Doo, like one thing at a time. And I realized until you go see some of these things and go to some of the mills or hear the questions. And that's where I've done a few of these classes here, but every class I learn something new because someone's asking something else. One of the easiest things is the fact we have such experts. He's been here 20, and hardly ever does he lock me out of the office. So I can run it and like, how do we do this? What's this mean? So the whole company is really big into education, training. They support me every year, let me do my welding class. That first one I signed up for, I had no idea they were going to pay for it. I thought I was doing that on my own. So having people support you and having such experts around makes it easy. But to me, I always want to be a perfectionist and know everything at once. And I have to realize these people have been here a long time.
And they still don't know every single thing.
A long time to get to that point.
No, I'm almost 15 in, and every single time, like even today, in today's training, even though this is my wheelhouse, there are certain things I learned like, oh, I never knew that, or that's something that I was doing wrong that I could just add to my portfolio.
Exactly.
So this is why I love these kind of things, these trainings, because you just end up teaching yourself how dumb you are. And, right?
It's always something though, honestly. I mean, I've done these a few times, and like I said, I've done the PowerPoint, I know all of
the material,
but then someone applies it like, well, wait, and it's like, oh.
That it connects. It just connects a different way.
I've never heard it in this way.
No, I get it. And where would you like to see yourself in the next 5-10 years? Now you are 6 years in, 1.5 into this particular, almost 2 into this particular section of it. Like, what is the vision in the next 5 or so?
Well, as Kurt said in his Torch Tales, that just
that's right.
launched,
I forgot. Kurt was in Torch Tales.
That he's not going to be retiring, so apparently I'm not taking his job anytime soon. But no, I just want to be more involved. I've been getting more involved with a lot of the different committees, and I want to be able to help teach a lot of the younger generation. So one of the things I really love is going to the high schools and talking to the kids and saying, hey, you don't necessarily have to be under the hood. If you find out, like, I'm doing this welding class and it's not for me, there's so many more avenues. You can do engineering, you can do marketing, you can do sales, and talking to the women, getting involved. Exactly. So.
No, that's, I'm laughing because that's usually one of the things that I usually say when I'm talking to students or other people that are trying to come into the industry. It's like, look, most people, I tell them what I do, that I automatically think I'm a welder. I'm like, not specifically.
Right.
Now, I know the processes. I know a bunch of friends that I can call and say, can you glue these two metals together? And so I know where to get those answers just because I've been in the industry for so long and you create these relationships. But the welding industry is just one highway that has many exits, and you can get off in any one of those and find your niche and find your thing, right? So I agree 100%. When you go to the shows, well, let me fix that question. Out of all the shows, all the cities, all the travels you've done now, because now you've gotten to see probably places that you didn't even know that they were there, and now you're like, wow, how lucky I am. Tell me one place that just blew your mind and that you just like, wow, this is just amazing.
You already know, I'm going to say Maui. Hawaii was amazing. Maui was amazing, everything. But even small, I really loved Seattle, Texas. I got to see space stuff, the Falcon 9, Florida. I mean, I can't. So I'm just going to say Maui.
Okay. And now everyone knows that every time I ask that question, I ask the opposite. So tell me a place that once you got there, not that it was bad, not to offend anyone, but that it was not your cup of tea. Just a personal opinion. This would be on my last list of going.
I wouldn't say it would be my very last, but I had never been to New York City, surprising. And so I always had
these huge expectations.
Huge idea. And I think also as I'm getting older, I don't like to do...
The movie, Sex and the City, the show, the whole thing.
I don't like to do as much touristy stuff anymore and that, so maybe that's part of it. But I always had like New York, New York,
Yeah.
New York,
Yeah.
you know. And it just was like, it's great.
Yeah.
And then I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
So
It's so different. It's just such a busy city, and you can't just. It almost feels like you just can't relax.
Right.
You know, it's like you always like.
Nothing's
almost tense.
easy,
Yeah,
and-
it's tense, you know, especially driving and doing sales calls. You arrive to New York, and it's like I could either do 2, 4 maybe. Traffic and everything else will determine how my day goes, right? That's. What do you like to eat? What's your go-to meal?
chicken parm
Chicken parm.
and key lime pie.
We had key lime pie. Now I get it. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Do you cook?
I do.
What's the one meal that if you're going to impress someone?
Chicken paprikash.
Okay.
I'm Hungarian. Well, 50% Hungarian.
Yeah.
So it's the old family recipe.
Okay. All right. All right. And when you go home after a week on the road, what's the one thing that you just go like, oh, finally?
Dogs.
Yeah. How many you have?
2.
2. What kind?
So I have Juliet. She is a Maltese poodle.
Okay.
So she is 10 pounds soaking wet.
Okay.
And then I have Amelia, and she's a Shih Tzu, and she's about 12 pounds soaking wet, maybe 13. So.
Oh, that's nice. That's very cute. How does your year looks now for the rest of the year? Now that we've just finished FabTech, here you are in Orlando because of part me, because I came for a training. And how does the rest of the year look for you?
It's actually kind of slow down time,
Yeah.
which is nice. Because like you said, I've seen you almost every city. I feel like it's our summer family.
She's special. You know, she sees me everywhere. Yeah.
That's true. But it's just going to be nice to be at home, family, holidays.
Are you spending the holidays up north or down here?
So I'm going to be doing Thanksgiving in Ohio, but I plan on coming to see my mother for Christmas, New Year's.
That's nice.
So.
That's pretty cool. And how far are you in Ohio? Like, you know, what town, what city? Like,
I live in Medina.
no clue where that is.
You don't? That's so strange. No, it's a small town kind of in between Cleveland and Akron.
See, of course I didn't. Yep. Yeah.
Thought you've been everywhere.
Well, almost everywhere. Yeah. I've been everywhere. Yeah. And do you ever see yourself moving from there? To where?
Florida.
Haha, I told you.
Yep, possibility.
We
Absolutely.
got it going on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's that's usually such an easy transition. I mean, not only because of weather, because of taxes and everything else.
Yep.
It's just
And then I have the family already, so kind of.
it makes it easy.
Yeah.
Do you even have an idea of a time frame, or because of the company, or?
I mean, we're lucky we do have our headquarters
You're
here,
right, yeah.
and I know they would support me being here.
Yeah.
But I also, so much of the brains is in Cleveland, and Cleveland's such a big welding
Of course,
area
it is.
that I really just want to focus on learning
Of course.
as much as possible, take advantage of who I get to work with and what they know, and you know,
Cool.
you never know what's going to happen, so just go with it.
No, that's cool. That's awesome. Well, Brittany, I want to thank you for, you know, for not only sitting down after, you know, traveling and then, you know, doing the training, but also just because of the same thing that you just mentioned. You know, I'm lucky enough that I was also one of the first people that either you got to meet or one of the first people that became friends with you, and I take that to heart because I try
It meant
to.
a lot to me.
Oh, thank you. I try just to treat everyone how I would have loved to be treated when I first came in, because you can always tell when someone's new.
Oh yeah.
And you can just like, oh, they need a guide, they need a hand, because it just feels awful. First time at a show, even though you have your coworker or whatever,
It's
they
a
know
lot.
everyone. You're just like a fly on the wall, and that's so you don't even know what to say. So I get it. I'm just thank you for saying that earlier. I meant it. From the first time I met you, it's like, hey, whatever you need, you know, we're here to help, and I'm glad that you feel that way for a lot of us on this side of the table. So thank you for your friendship as well. Thank you for saying yes. I appreciate you very much, and I'm glad that you are in the industry as well.
Aww,
so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this is how easy it is, you know. So here we are, one more guest, Brittany Fichter. Did I say that right? All right, and I wasn't sure if it was an F or a V. So now I know. I was so confused with what her last name was for years. I thought it was something else.
My middle name's Sachet. Just to throw another lip
that's
in
not
there.
helping. That's not helping. Not helping. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learn a little bit about Brittany, where she comes from, what she does, what SuperFlash does, and you guys heard her. She wants to stay in the industry. She wants to keep learning. So please stop judging people on whether you are a woman, whether you are this. Just give everyone the benefit of the doubt and teach. Pass that torch forward, all right? That's why we're here. That's what Torch Tales is all about. Also, I want to give thanks to Phil from Crompton Welding Supply for hooking me up with a hat. Thanks, Phil. And I told you I was going to wear one of the
and now I want one too.
Of course she does, right? Well, Brittany, again, anything else that you would like to say?
Yes, I would like to be a contestant on the Wheel of Fortune.
All right. Well, now you heard that. So if whoever's watching has a connection with that knows someone, now you know. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching Torch Tales. I can't wait to see you somewhere else with somebody else, because like I always say, if they keep saying yes, who am I to say no? All right, guys, see you on the next one.